Chapter 2. Plato's Cave and the First Architecture of Shadow Consciousness. Plato's allegory of the cave is one of the earliest and most powerful philosophical models for understanding the difference between appearance and reality. In the allegory, human beings are imagined as prisoners who have lived since childhood inside an underground cave. They are chained in such a way that they cannot turn their heads. They can only look forward at a wall. Behind them burns a fire. Between the fire and the prisoners, other people carry objects, statues, figures, tools, and shapes. The fire casts the shadows of those objects onto the wall before the prisoners. Since the prisoners have never seen anything else, they believe the shadows are reality itself. They give names to the shadows, they discuss them, they compete over who can predict them. Their intelligence operates entirely inside the world of the wall. This image is not merely a poetic story, it is a philosophical architecture. Plato is showing that human beings can live inside a world of appearances without realizing that these appearances are incomplete. The prisoners are not blind, they see. Their problem is that they see only within a limited arrangement. Their senses are active, but their orientation is restricted. Their minds are intelligent, but their intelligence has been trained inside a prison. This is the first crucial insight for Gyrus Sulcus Theory. Intelligence alone does not guarantee freedom. A person can become highly intelligent about shadows and still never ask what casts them. The cave allegory becomes the first map of shadow consciousness. The wall represents the field of appearance. The shadows represent partial representations. The fire represents the secondary source of illumination that makes the shadows visible. The carriers of objects represent the forces that shape what appears before human perception. The chains represent the limitations that prevent turning. The ascent from the cave represents the painful process of reorientation. The sunlight represents a higher source of reality, truth, or intelligibility. The return to the cave represents the responsibility of the awakened person toward those still living inside the world of shadows. Gyrus Sulcus Theory does not replace Plato's cave, it deepens it. Plato gives us the structure of illusion. Gyrus Sulcus Theory studies the anatomy of attachment to illusion. It asks why the prisoners resist turning. It asks why the wall becomes emotionally believable. It asks why shadows are not merely seen but defended. It asks why the freed prisoner is mocked, feared, or attacked when he returns. These questions require more than philosophy alone. They require psychology, neuroscience, sociology, media studies, trauma theory, spiritual reflection, and symbolic literacy. In Plato's allegory, the chains appear physical. In modern life, the chains are often invisible. They may be made of fear, habit, cultural conditioning, emotional dependence, social reward, ideology, trauma, identity, language, algorithmic attention, economic pressure, religious certainty, or personal history. A prisoner may believe he is free because no metal binds his body, yet his perception may still be chained by repetition. He may choose between different walls and call this freedom. He may select his preferred news channel, social media feed, political tribe, spiritual teacher, or entertainment platform, yet never question the larger structure of projection. The chain has moved from the body to attention. The wall in Plato's cave is also no longer only stone. In the contemporary world, the wall is often a screen. It may be a television screen, smartphone screen, cinema screen, computer screen, social media feed, news platform, advertisement panel, ideological slogan, institutional narrative, or inner mental image. Every screen presents a selected reality. What appears on the wall has passed through systems of framing, editing, compression, selection, interpretation, and distribution. The viewer may feel informed, but information itself may be structured as shadow. A person who consumes many shadows may feel knowledgeable while still lacking contact with source. The fire in Plato's cave has also multiplied. In the ancient allegory, one fire casts shadows. In modern civilization, there are billions of fires: media systems, marketing engines, political organizations, religious authorities, artificial intelligence models, entertainment industries, educational frameworks, family narratives, cultural myths, personal memories, and emotional wounds. Each projects images upon the walls of attention. A human being may live within overlapping caves. One wall is created by family history, another by national identity, another by economic class, another by digital algorithms. another by trauma memory, another by spiritual longing, another by fear of death. The modern cave is not a single chamber. It is a layered system of caves within caves. The carriers of objects in Plato's cave are especially important. In the allegory, they move behind the prisoners and carry things that generate shadows. The prisoners do not see the carriers, they only see what the carriers project. In the modern world, the carriers are the systems and actors that shape representation. They include journalists, advertisers, politicians, teachers, filmmakers, influencers, religious leaders, corporations, data scientists, artificial intelligence systems, parents, historians, cultural elites, and even unconscious psychological processes. Some carriers deceive deliberately. Others carry shadows without knowing they are doing so. Some carry partial truth. Some carry inherited fear. Some carry commercial desire. Some carry social myths. Some carry necessary simplifications. The question is not only who carries the object, but what kind of shadow is being produced and for what purpose. One of Plato's most profound insights is that the prisoners do not simply lack information, they lack turning. Education, in this allegory, is not the transfer of facts into an empty mind. It is the turning of the soul toward a greater reality. This is central to Gyrus Sulcus Theory. Information can increase without awakening. A person may collect facts, watch documentaries, read books, scroll endlessly through news, consume spiritual teachings, study philosophy, and still remain oriented towards shadows. Knowledge becomes transformative only when it changes orientation. It must alter how the person sees, what the person values, how the person interprets experience, and how the person returns to life. The freed prisoner's first experience is not joy, it is pain. His eyes hurt when he turns toward the fire. He is confused. The familiar wall becomes uncertain. His old world collapses. He may want to return to the shadows because they are known. This stage is crucial. Awakening is often romanticized, but real awakening may begin as disorientation. When a person realizes that a family story was false, the discovery may feel like betrayal before it feels like freedom. When a society confronts hidden injustice, the first response may be denial, anger, or grief. When a spiritual seeker recognizes ego within spirituality, the insight may feel humiliating. When a patient realizes that symptoms are connected to long-standing patterns, the body may resist the truth. Light can hurt eyes trained by darkness. This explains why compassionate education must be gradual. A person cannot always be dragged violently from shadow to sunlight without consequence. The nervous system needs adjustment. The emotions need support. The identity needs time to reorganize. Plato's freed prisoner moves from shadows to fire, from fire to reflections, from reflections to objects, from objects to stars, and finally to the sun. This stage descent is psychologically profound. Human beings require graduated exposure to truth. Too much truth without preparation can become traumatic. Too little truth becomes imprisonment. Wisdom lies in the art of timing. Gyrus Sulcus Theory interprets this stage descent through the ridge and groove model. The initial turn from the wall is the first gyrus movement. The person rises from total fusion with the shadow into reflective distance. But the sulcus resists. The grooves of old memory, belonging, habit, and fear pull the person back toward the known wall. This is why insight often alternates with regression. A person sees clearly one day and repeats the old pattern the next. The ridge has opened, but the groove remains deep. Transformation requires repeated turning until new grooves form. The sunlight in Plato's allegory is often interpreted as the good, the highest principle of truth and intelligibility. In Gyrus Sulcus Theory, the sun can also represent source reality, the living fullness beyond the shadow, the whole beyond partial representation, the truth that makes lesser truths visible. The sun is not merely another object among objects, it is the condition by which objects can be seen. This distinction matters. Human beings often mistake a brighter shadow for the sun. They leave one illusion and enter another, believing that the new wall is ultimate. The sun symbolizes that which reveals the entire structure of seeing. Yet the allegory does not end with ascent. The freed prisoner must return. This is where many spiritual and philosophical journeys fail. The seeker may want to remain in light above ordinary life, away from confusion, conflict, politics, family, work, and social responsibility. Plato refuses this escape. The one who sees more must return to the cave. In Gyrus Sulcus Theory, this return is essential. Awakening that does not return to life becomes self-protection disguised as wisdom. The purpose of seeing shadows is not to despise those who still watch them. The purpose is to help create conditions where turning becomes possible. The return is dangerous because the freed prisoner appears foolish to those still inside the cave. His eyes have adjusted to light, so he cannot see well in darkness at first. The prisoners interpret this as evidence that a scent damaged him. They say he has lost his sight. They laugh at him. They resist him. They may even kill him if he tries to free them. This is not merely a political warning, it is a psychological law. Systems defend themselves. Families defend their silences. Institutions defend their authority. Ideologies defend their walls. Personal identities defend their continuity. When someone returns with light, the cave does not always welcome him. It may call him blind. In modern terms, the returned prisoner may be the whistleblower, reformer, therapist, philosopher, scientist, artist, spiritual teacher, ethical leader, or child who names the family truth. The returned prisoner may also be an inner part of the self that has seen something clearly and returns to the rest of the personality with uncomfortable knowledge. The old personality may mock the insight, dismiss it, rationalize it, or suppress it. Thus, Plato's drama occurs both socially and internally. One part of the person sees, another part resists. The central ethical danger for the freed prisoner is contempt. After seeing more, he may begin to despise those who still see less. This creates another shadow. The shadow of superiority is among the most dangerous shadows because it often appears after genuine insight. The person who has escaped one wall may create a new wall around his own awakening. He becomes identified with being the one who sees. He forgets that his own eyes once hurt. He forgets that he too was shaped by shadows. He uses light as a weapon. Gyrus Sulcus Theory strongly rejects this form of return. The freed one must return without contempt. Returning without contempt requires remembering the emotional cost of turning. The prisoners are not merely foolish, they are adapted. Their language, status, memories, and sense of reality are organized around the wall. To demand instant awakening is to ignore the sulcus. The teacher must understand the grooves that hold the student. The reformer must understand the fears that hold the society. The healer must understand the protective function of the symptom. The writer must understand why readers cling to familiar stories. The spiritual guide must understand that light given without tenderness can blind. The modern cave also contains voluntary chains. Many people choose their walls because the walls provide identity, pleasure, outrage, belonging, distraction, or certainty. Social media platforms show this clearly. The user is not tied physically to the screen, yet attention returns again and again. The wall becomes portable. The fire is algorithmic. The shadows are personalized. The chain is emotional reward. The prisoner may insist he is choosing freely, but his choices are shaped by invisible systems designed to capture attention. In this sense, the modern cave is more subtle than Plato's cave because the prisoner often carries the chain proudly. Artificial intelligence adds another layer to Plato's structure. AI can generate synthetic shadows, images, voices, texts, faces, histories, simulations, and predictions that may not correspond to actual events. These shadows can be useful, creative, educational, and transformative, but they can also blur the boundary between representation and source. In an AI-mediated society, the cave wall can become endlessly adaptive. It can show each prisoner a personalized reality. The question becomes not only, what is the shadow, but was there ever an original object, or has the shadow been generated directly? This is a new challenge for shadow consciousness. Gyrus Sulcus Theory therefore expands Plato's cave into a modern method of analysis. To examine any phenomenon, one may ask, what is the wall? What is the fire? Who or what carries the objects? What are the chains? What shadows appear? What emotional reward keeps the observer watching? What pain would turning cause? What would count as a scent? What would responsible return look like? These questions can be applied to media, politics, education, family systems, religious institutions, technology, personal psychology, and spiritual practice. For example, in political polarization, each group may sit before a different wall. Each wall displays selected shadows of history, threat, heroism, injustice, and enemyhood. The fire is the emotional energy of tribal belonging. The carriers include media, leaders, influencers, educational narratives, and collective memory. The chains include fear, identity, moral certainty, and social reward. The ascent begins when one sees that one's own wall is partial. The return requires dialogue without surrendering truth. The danger is that each side believes only the other side is in the cave. In consumer culture, the wall displays desire shadows. Objects become symbols of status, beauty, freedom, love, success, youth, belonging, and power. The fire is manufactured desire. The carriers are advertisers, influencers, brands, and social comparison systems. The chains include insecurity, longing, scarcity, and the need for recognition. The ascent begins when the person sees the difference between object and projected identity. The return involves conscious consumption, ethical economy, and freedom from symbolic manipulation. In personal trauma, the wall displays danger shadows. Present events are interpreted through past wounds. The fire is emotional memory. The carriers are nervous system patterns, implicit memory, body sensations, and protective beliefs. The chains include fear, vigilance, shame, and survival strategy. The ascent begins when the person realizes that the present may not be identical to the past. The return involves regulated breath, safe relationships, therapeutic support, embodied awareness, and gradual rewriting of grooves. In spirituality, the wall may display sacred shadows. Symbols, rituals, teachers, doctrines, and visions appear as pathways to truth. They may indeed be meaningful, but when they become absolute, they become walls. The fire is longing for transcendence. The carriers are traditions, institutions, scriptures, teachers, and personal experiences. The chains include fear of uncertainty, desire for belonging, spiritual ambition, and identity. The ascent begins when the seeker sees that no symbol is the source itself. The return involves humility, practice, compassion, and discernment. Plato's cave remains powerful because it reveals a permanent human condition. Gyrus Sulcus Theory keeps the allegory alive by applying it to the folded realities of modern life. We must study not only the ancient cave, but also the digital cave, the trauma cave, the language cave, the identity cave, the media cave, the ideological cave, the scientific model cave, the spiritual cave, and the AI-generated cave. Each contains shadows. Each contains partial truth. Each can imprison or educate depending on whether we remain fused or learn to turn. The highest value of Plato's cave is not that it teaches suspicion of appearances. Suspicion alone can become paranoia. Its deeper value is that it teaches disciplined reorientation. The prisoner does not become wise by denying everything on the wall. He becomes wise by turning, enduring the pain of adjustment, learning to see progressively, recognizing the source of light, and returning with responsibility. This remains the path of every serious thinker, healer, scientist, artist, teacher, and spiritual seeker. In Gyrus Sulcus Theory, the cave is not destroyed, the wall is not hated, the shadows are not mocked. They are understood as stages in the journey from partial appearance toward fuller reality. The prisoner becomes free, not by claiming that he has no shadows, but by learning how shadows are made. He becomes mature, not by escaping all caves forever, but by becoming a navigator of caves. He learns to ask in every situation, what am I seeing? What produces this appearance? What holds my attention here? What would it mean to turn? What light am I ready to face? How can I return without contempt? Plato gave humanity the first architecture of shadow consciousness. Gyrus Sulcus Theory continues that architecture into the brain, body, society, media, technology, and soul. The wall remains before us. The fire burns behind us. The carriers still move. The chains have become subtle. The shadows have become more beautiful, more personalized, and more convincing. But the possibility of turning remains. That possibility is the beginning of freedom.